Hello everybody and welcome to a train simulator video. Today we shall be driving the British Rail Class 101 DMU from Barnard Castle to Bishop Auckland. So to start things off, we will just close off the dialog box here and we will open the doors by pressing T. Now, because we're using the Armstrong Powerhouse Sound Pack with this engine, the driving technique is a little bit different to that as opposed to when this train is in its default setup. So the first thing we need to do is put the train into forward gear and press Shift and E to put the train into first gear, although due to a bug with the simulator, the heads-up display will show you that you are in gear 4 and the numbering is in the reverse order. And the next thing we're going to do is put the headlights on by pressing H and turn on the wipers by pressing V. So we'll just wait for the doors to close. I'll just move the camera down so you can get a better look at the controls. And now that we are just going to move off now, having had the right of way signal from the guard. Unlike most modern units, the vintage DMUs such as the Class 101 has a manual gearbox. So it's similar to driving a car, except that there's just no clutch pedal. So what we have to do when we want to change gears, we have to turn off the power, just shut off the power to the train and just wait a number of seconds whilst the RPM drops down to below 11,000, and then we can change gear. Just gonna let the train coast because we are in a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit restriction, but the line speed will soon increase to 45 miles an hour, and this will be the maximum speed for the rest of our journey, and it is also actually the maximum speed of the entire route. So now that we can accelerate to 45 miles an hour, I'm just going to put the train into the next gear. In fact, I'm just going to gear down because the train is struggling as we are climbing up at quite a stiff gradient. When we reach 25 miles an hour, I'm going to move up into gear 3. Very shortly we will have to slow down to 15 miles an hour as we cross over a set of points, and the way the Class 101 brakes is on a vacuum based system, and what you have to do is you have to move the brake needle to the brake force you want and then move the handle back up to the hold position, and the train will hold that brake force for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to coast. I'll put the train into first gear and we're going to start slowing down for this 15 mile an hour limit. So we'll just move it down and that will bring us down nicely to the 15. Take off the brakes now, and that should slow us down nicely for this 15 mile an hour limit. When I drive the train, I tend to go off the sound of the wheel noise for braking, and also looking at the HUD for the speed. So we've just lost a bit of speed there, so we're just gonna power up a bit. fanning the throttle so that we don't overspeed. In fact, we'll leave it in, I think that's notch 3 there, and that's just holding us nicely just under 12 miles an hour. And in fact, I'm just going to shut off power and change up to the next gear. And again, once we reach 25 miles an hour, I will change into gear. Oh, sorry, once we get into 40 miles an hour, I will change into the 4th gear. I'll just turn on the instrument panel lighting so that you can see the speedo a bit more clearly. Just sorts out the camera there. Just going to change gear again. And again, the train is climbing quite a stiff gradient here. The gradient, according to the HUD at the moment, is 1 in 75. So you can only imagine how punishing these sorts of gradients would be for steam trains. The Weardale and Teesdale network is based off a network of lines in the northeast of England, which were had many of their branch lines closed in the 1950s by Dr. Beeching. And this is a very nice route. I think it's one of the prettiest looking routes in Train Simulator, along with the Armstrong Powerhouse's Wary Lines route. I really like the vegetation on this route. It adds to, and the telephone poles as well. It adds to the rustic nature of the period of the line. It adds to the rustic nature of the line. Here comes another siding. Now that we've reached 40 miles an hour, I'm going to put the train into 4th gear. One thing to note that with the with this route is that the line is signalled with the old semaphore signals, but they aren't fitted to the automatic warning system. So you really have to plan your drive carefully on this route, and you have to know the signals as well. So the train is starting to go downhill now, and as you can see, we're losing quite a lot of points for speeding there. So just bring on the brakes quite lightly and just release them. And we'll just keep an eye on the speed now. And from here, it's pretty much downhill all the way to West Auckland station. Got a couple of stops to make before then. The first being Cockfield Fell. Just hold the brakes. gradient's levelled off a bit, so I'm just going to apply power again to the train. Just to help us get around this curve. Just put the train into notch 3, as that'll hold the train at about 44.6 miles an hour, which is pretty much the ideal cruising setting for this route. Sorry, notch 2. Just double checked the percentage readouts on the HUD. We are actually just climbing uphill again, so just had a bit more power. Got about a mile to go before Cockfield fell. As for gradient levels out, as we reach the peak of the gradient, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the power, and we're just going to let gravity take the train down, keeping an eye on the speed and braking when we need to. So I'm going to shut the power off now. I'm going to put the train into first gear, which is the prototypical driving technique when you want to coast in a first generation DMU. We are slowing down a little bit as we get to the brow of a hill, but once we get over the top, the gradient of the decline is will get very, very steep. So we're now on a falling gradient of 1 in 75, and as you can see, looking at the HUD, the speed is rising quite quickly. So we're going to start thinking about slowing down for our first station stop here. So I'm just going to bring the brakes on a little bit. Add a bit more force. If you're not careful, you can actually run out of brake force with a vacuum brake, so you really have to plan ahead and just take your time. I'm just going to release the brakes just a fraction. And at the moment the station starter at Cockfield Fell is at green. So in the event that we do overrun the platform, we won't get booted out of the game for spadding, which is one of the frustrating things about the career scenarios. You're always booted out of the game when you pass a red light. Just coming in a little bit hot there. Just because I lost a bit of concentration, so we'll just bring it to a nice controlled stop. And here we are at Cockfield Fell. I'll just put the train into neutral gear to avoid the train running away whilst the doors are open. You'll notice the sighting board behind the signal as well, which aids the drivers when the starting signal is in front of a bridge. So I'll just put the train out for an external view. Go back into forward gear. Now the doors are closed, we'll release the brakes. Now as we depart, another train passes through. Sorts out the lights there. And our next station stop is at Evenwood. Kind of shut off the power again, because if you look ahead on the HUD, there is actually quite a steep spike in that gradient. So the train's going to run away even faster. So I'm just going to start bringing on the brakes a little bit now. Now we're going down a gradient of 1 in 27. Just going to release the brakes just so we don't lose too much speed, a lot of speed too fast, too much speed too quickly. Going to aim just to keep the train around 43 miles an hour at this point. Just going to release the brakes just a fraction. Start slowing down for Evenwood, so just going to bring on the brakes now. Just release the brakes a fraction. Just hold it down. Because of how short the station platforms are on this route, you want to be entering them no faster than at least 20 to 25 miles an hour. Just run out of brake reach the maximum amount of brake force there. Just going to release the brakes a little bit. apply them again, and according to the HUD, all 3 cars are now in the station, so I'm just going to open the doors and put the train into neutral gear. And here we are at Evenwood Station. And just looking at the itinerary, our next station stop is West Auckland, and then we've got one more stop to do at Bishop Auckland. It might actually help if I bring the train out of 4th gear. Going to coast now, as pretty shortly we're going to have to slow down for a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit. So we've just passed the warning board for it. Going to bring the speed of the train down a little bit more, as we are still going downhill, approaching this speed restriction here. The limit is just for the junction here. Go into 2nd gear. Just going to concentrate now. I'm now going to bring on the brakes as we are fast approaching West Auckland Station, and also a reduction in our speed down to 25 miles an hour. that's a warning board for it. The speed limit is just after this signal. Just slow down a bit too fast there. So I'm just going to move up into gear 2. There's not much point in really speeding up because we are just as we round this curve, we will be entering the platforms at West Auckland. Just release the brakes just to make sure that all the carriages get into the platform. And we've just overshot the signal there, and according to the HUD we've overshot the platform, so the front doors of the train won't open. Yeah, but the doors in the rear 2 carriages have. Just sort out the camera again. And once again the speed limit has changed to 45 miles an hour. Just going to start slowing down again for another reduction down to 25 miles an hour. Just parked on the left hand side there is a Class 24, which comes pre-packaged with the route along with the Class 101. You also get a BR green livered Class 08 diesel shunter and a Class 37 in BR green livery also with this route. But you don't get any scenarios with those trains. By default you just get scenarios for the Class 101 and the Class 24. There's also a twin pack available for the Class 105 DMU, which adds an extra couple of scenarios to the route. past class 24 with some coal wagons. Just got warning for a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit, so I'm just going to start slowing down for that now. Just going to slow the train down further to 15 miles an hour as we slowly approach the junction for Bishop Auckland Station. Bring the speed of the train up now if I can. But the train is struggling in the lower power sector. Excuse me. And we're just going to slowly coast into Bishop Auckland Station. Obviously the layout and even the look of Bishop Auckland Station is radically different to the one that we know today. And as we enter the station shed, I'm just going to turn off the wipers and bring the train to a nice smooth stop inside the station shed. And here we are at Bishop Auckland Station. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again at some point with another train simulator video. So thank you very much for watching, and take care.